What's up, guys? I am nobody special, and I just got done watching the Charles Payne, Dave Portnoy interview on Fox Business, and let's talk about that. Ready? Hit it. Thanks for joining me. My name's Jack Gamble, and I am nobody special. Yesterday, Charles Payne on Fox Business had Dave Portnoy of Barstool Sports on to discuss meme stocks, and particularly they covered some of the drama around Portnoy's exit of the position early on a few months ago when Robinhood and some of the other brokerages were playing their stupid games by limiting trading, a trade that cost Portnoy quite a bit of money. Well, let's start by watching some of the highlights of this interview, and then I'll give you my thoughts.
Are you surprised how this movement held and it seems to be gaining even more strength?
I don't know if the word would be surprised, but I give credit to all the people who have stayed in it and held it. I mean, the thing that stopped it the first time, the momentum obviously, was when they froze trading, and they're not really doing that anymore, and it's come back. So, I guess I would have to say I'm surprised because I don't own them, and I wish I did. So if I knew it was coming, I would have them. I guess I am a little bit surprised, but good for them.
You sold, you admitted you took a $700,000 hit, and you said you were paper hands. Now, so many of these people who were in this, a lot of them got drawn into it because of you. They're so disappointed and angry at you. What do you say to them?
Oh, those people are idiots. Yeah, we don't pay any attention to those morons. Listen, most of the people
that escalated
who are saying
quickly.
Paper hands and this and that, they lost 5 cents. They lost a nickel. I lost 700 grand. I got out of it. I took my beating. So anybody paper hands, I'd like to wrap them in toilet paper and glue lettuce to them and set them afloat in the ocean. I don't pay any attention to those idiots.
Really?
Wrapped in lettuce? What does that even mean?
I mean, think about this for a moment. They're saying $700,000 to a guy like you, and when they put all of their money in, that you didn't have to sell, that you were the face of this movement, that when you gave up, you helped the establishment when they needed you most. I mean, why would you diss them now? Why would you call them names now?
Charles, you're being a naive fool. These people, these are Twitter eggs that you're listening to. The real people who have
that sounds disconcerting.
They're not the ones calling names. I'd love to see the bank accounts and the receipts of these people. And by the way, I don't know what they'd be mad at me for. I sold. If they held, they'd be rich.
All right, well, I think you're going to owe a lot of people an apology. Not that they sold when you sold, because they're saying that you were paper hands and they're diamond hands, but you didn't live up to what you were saying, that you helped create a movement, and at the first sign of danger, you were the one who blinked. And that's why they lost respect for you.
They closed trading, Charles. I didn't know they could do that. Do your research and see the sequence of events. I didn't start it. I joined it.
If you watch my show, I actually have chronicled this better than anyone else, and why it was wrong for Robinhood.
How is that
why it was wrong for Robinhood to close trading? Because not everyone sold AMC at $5.
Well, then
some people held on to it.
They wouldn't be complaining, would they?
Well, they might be complaining. Rich people complain all the time. You're rich and you complain a lot.
Millions of dollars because you held, and then you go make fun on Twitter of somebody who sold. That's not how it works. They're partying on their yacht.
Would you step up? Would you step up for these people, Dave, and try to help them
You're
now
making no sense. You're being a moron.
I'm trying to. No, I'm not being. You're being a little bitch. Listen, would you step up for these people and go to Gary Gensler, and say, help change the rules?
I like that. Would you
ask Gary Gensler to change the rules?
Social media is making a mockery of you right now. Would you ask
Gary Gensler to change the rules? Could you ask? Could you go to war for these people? Could you ask for the rules to be fixed, the playing field to be leveled?
Who's Gary Gensler?
Well, there's a lot to take in there, isn't there? First of all, let me preface by saying I like both of these guys a lot, all right? I really like Charles Payne. He's been the one voice in the media that has covered the Ape Movement and the meme stock rally in any way other than trying to make us look like imbeciles who are too stupid to be trusted with their own money. So I really like Charles Payne. I also really like Dave Portnoy. And particularly, I loved what Portnoy did with the Barstool Foundation during the pandemic, where he was raising money for private businesses. I mean, he did a lot of good. I think Portnoy is overall a good guy. So let me just preface by saying I like both of these guys. Now let me get to where I think things went a little bit south here. First of all, I think Charles Payne probably blindsided Portnoy with a lot of these questions. I don't think Portnoy was expecting this line of questioning when he agreed to the interview. So it seems like there was a little bit of sandbagging going on there. Now, that being said, Portnoy was hardly gracious in his response to these unexpected questions, was he? I mean, the thing about the wrapping people in toilet paper and lettuce, what does that even mean? I don't know. I'd love to see it. I've never seen somebody wrapped in toilet paper and then covered in lettuce and thrown adrift in the ocean. I'd imagine it's uncomfortable, but he really paints a picture with his words there, doesn't he? So Portnoy was a little over the top, and I'll say it, a little childish with the way he reacted, right? I mean, he could have just taken his lumps, and he could have said something like, people on social media can say whatever they want. I don't let it bother me. I don't let it get to me. When you put yourself out there in public, you can expect a certain amount of negative reaction in any case, right? He could have said something like that. But, man, he went way off the deep end there. Way, way out of left field. So I think Portnoy could have reacted a little better. So right away, I think both guys are a little bit in the wrong here, right? Payne could have been a little more transparent with where he was planning to take the interview, and Portnoy certainly could have been a lot better with how they reacted. Now, when they started lobbing insults at each other, I think both guys start losing face big time, right? That descended into absolute chaos. There was no reason for any of it. I think both guys are better than that. Now, let me address the elephant in the room and the paper hands concept, all right? One of the reasons why the meme stock squeeze is being so effective, I think, is there is this certain degree of social pressure built into it. Now, let me preface this by saying I'm long AMC. I believe in the AMC squeeze. I believe there are millions and millions of synthetic shares out there. I believe the hedge funds are in the wrong. I believe they've been caught with their pants down. I think there's a lot of shenanigans going on. And I want to see AMC go above 100, even go above 1,000. All right? Now, that being said, this concept that anybody who sells is going to be accused of being paper-handed or weak. Look, everybody makes their own trades for their own reasons. Everybody's situation is unique and different. And there's really no reason to take somebody and drag them through the mud like that. Now, I understand that Portnoy apparently was one of the early leaders in this movement. So for him to exit the trade let a lot of people down. And I understand that. I can see that feeling. But at the same time, look, you got to sell at some point, right? Everybody's got to sell somewhere. And Portnoy was losing money. And, man, he took a lot of losses. What did he say, $700,000 he lost on that trade? So, I mean, he's already paying for paper handing. Right? He took his lumps, and now look at what AMC stock is doing. Look at where it's gone. He would have made millions if he'd stayed in that trade. So I don't think there's any reason to drag Portnoy through the mud here because his wallet is already doing that. I mean, he's taking a bath on the trade. He missed out on millions in gains. There's nothing to be gained by calling a guy paper hands. Right? So I think both guys, a lot of unprofessionalism there. I love the Apes. I consider myself among them. But this social thing that you're a pariah if you ever sell, come on, guys, we're all going to sell at some point, right? Now, I don't plan on selling anytime soon. I want this baby to rip, all right? And they're not getting my shares back for no $60, $70, $80, $90. Sorry. But at the same time, guys, we all have a number in mind when we're going to sell. And one of the ways this movement could possibly self-destruct is if we all start infighting and calling each other names and creating all this bad blood anytime one of us sells. That's going to drive people out of the meme movement. So, I mean, we can talk about our price targets and where we think it's going to go. We can share our ideas without resorting to this kind of destructive behavior. So I think both guys really missed out on an opportunity here. Payne, I mean, I got to admit, Payne went total beast mode here, and there was a couple times where I just wanted to be like, get him, Charles. But at the same time, I don't think Portnoy really deserved that. Flip side of that coin, Dave, you could have handled that a little better. You don't need to be so over the top, so aggressive. I get the New York Hoboken thing there, and it really comes out when your blood gets up. It's kind of funny. It plays. But there's better ways to handle that. And again, I don't think the infighting is going to help the Ape movement any bit. So those are just my thoughts. It was a lot of fun to watch that interview. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. It would really help me out. Hit that notification bell. In the meantime, live small and dream big.